It's been 17 years since the last time LEGO released a paneled Star Wars Death Star, and this year they released the LEGO Ideas Globe. It looks like a nice enough set, and I thought I'd pick one up, so I did. And then I thought, it'd be cool if I made it into a Death Star, and thanks to today's sponsor, StockX, they actually sent me a second copy of the set, and we're going to be doing just that, building a globe, and then making one into a Death Star. And this video will also serve as a pseudo tutorial, so I'll tell you everything you'll need to turn your globe into a Death Star, including the first thing you'll need, a LEGO Ideas Globe, which you can buy from StockX using the link in the description below. We'll talk a little bit more about them later. Now I'm building the globe on its own first so I can get an idea of the structure of the stand, because that's kind of an important part for this, because I don't want the Death Star to be tilted at that 23.5-degree angle. I want it straight up and down. So changing the stand, I think, is actually going to be harder than changing the color of the globe. The first 4 bags have us complete the entire stand, but the 5th bag actually has us doing our first real color changing here, where we just swap out 9 of these blue 6x6 plates for 9 of the same plates in light bluish gray. 5th bag down, and you can see we have kind of half of the circle complete, about to complete the other half here with the 6th bag, just replacing 7 more of the 6x6 tiles with light bluish gray. Pretty easy going so far, actually. I'm trying not to get sidetracked or anything, but it's pretty tempting to want to make an actual car with these things. They're just the perfect size for wheels on a little kid's electric car. That would be a fun build. We're on to bag 7 here, and for some of this, it's actually adding plates onto the side of the globe. So for the Death Star portion of it, I'm just going to completely skip those steps. I'm no expert, but I feel like having that in place really helps the rigidity of the design versus the Death Star one's current position where it doesn't have that. It's kind of crazy all the techniques you get through with a LEGO set like this, where it just is so intricate on the inside that you never see. So remember when I talked about making it into a wheel? Well, there's actually wheels inside of the big LEGO wheel. Ain't that crazy? LEGO's the top producer of tires in the world, and that number just got literally tires in the world. Get it? Because the tires are inside of the globe. We're already into bag 8. And for bag 8, these are all the parts we're going to be switching out. Quite a bit more intensive than what we had going on here for just kind of the midsection of the Death Star / globe. But still, just not going to be too difficult at the end of the day. I have no idea what I was thinking when I put these parts together. The Death Star and the globe are merging to become one. From this point on, it's actually rather repetitive. You're going to need 16 of each of these different type of panel pieces that you see here, because that's what we're going to use to create the entire top and bottom panel for the Death Star, except for a section I'm going to take out to be able to put the laser in. But when we get there, I'll give you an update. Until then, I'm just going to try to fill out the entire Death Star as one big round spear. The top half of each build is done for both the globe and the Death Star, but for the Death Star, I'm going to need to make some modifications. Obviously, the Death Star has a giant laser on it. That's not quite the same for the Earth globe build that LEGO came out with. And that's where these pieces come in, pieces that should combine to create the laser assembly for the Death Star. How did I decide which pieces I needed? Well, I took to the internet, where I found Eurobricks user MandRproductions had already created the laser part of the Death Star, and so I just ordered all the parts that he used and am going to borrow his design to create my own. First things first, I'm going to need to remove these 3 panels. Design to me seemed pretty simple, so I'm just going to try copying it over and see what kind of results I get from doing so. Unfortunately, I didn't have all the exact same parts that MandRproductions had used for his basically rebuild of this section to put in the laser cannon assembly, and so I changed it up just a little bit, but it's still definitely very inspired by what he did, especially the laser part here, pretty much piece for piece. So big shout out to him for helping this along, and so that will obviously go in there, and then it will all attach onto the Death Star. But before I show you that put together, let's talk about today's sponsor, StockX. For those that don't know, StockX is a new online marketplace for LEGO collectors like you and I. They have hundreds of new and old sets for sale, including, of course, the LEGO Ideas Globe featured in today's video, which you can currently get for below retail price to modify it into your own Death Star, just like I'm doing. For those not quite into modifying their LEGO sets, you can even find an official LEGO Death Star on there. Every listing has been verified for authenticity to ensure that you get a perfect and official product. Buying on StockX is simple. If something's in stock and you want to buy it, you just press buy or bid and you can buy it now. If you don't quite want to pay that high price, you can always enter a bid and see if someone will sell you the item for that price. If something's not in stock though, you can actually just place a bid, and if someone comes along willing to sell it for that price, you'll get it for that price. All their sets are brand new in box, even the retired ones, so you don't have to worry about getting any dirty, used Lego pieces. This makes it a great place to buy retired Lego Star Wars and other Lego sets. You can click the link in the description below to take you to StockX.com and check out their Lego selection today. Let's get back to converting the Death Star. So as I go to actually attach this on, I've kind of noticed that this whole section here above it is a bit wonky. It looks really good in the digital version, but in real life, it takes a little bit away from the look, I think, so I might actually change it up. But let's try to put this on and see what happens. I think it goes down all the way. No, so there's your problem. Okay, well, maybe you guys can't see it quite yet. It can't be pushed down all the way because I put some tiles underneath to kind of like push those down, and as you can see, it kind of bends them in, which is not necessarily optimal. What should actually still work though is what was originally there, which is just a couple of those wedge pieces. Let me try this without the plates first, because those aren't there in his original design. I just thought having them pushed down farther would look better. If we remove those jumper plates, then we shouldn't have that same problem anymore. So it appears to be what I had feared. It looks like there's a rather large gap there, and if I just switch it back to the plates, which is how the design originally was, I think I'll be better off. So with the top switch back, I think it does look better without the bigger holes. I could honestly probably get away with changing out the bottom too. It seems like there's a rather large gap there that could be filled if I just used the same exact plate and carried it over. I caved and switched it out. I think I like it better. Let's pop the lasers on. Boy, does that look good. Again, big shouts to Mad Spandy for the conceptual design of this thing, because without him, it would have been much more difficult. So I'm really happy with that. It looks sharp. I just got to step 266, and I don't know if you guys knew this, but Lego is actually the largest supplier of tires in the world. I'm sorry. There was an opportunity and I took it. I'm allowed to make the same joke twice because I'm basically making the same build twice. It's only fair. Having attached all the panels to the Death Star, I must say I am very impressed with it. We'll take a look at it in a second when I get it on the stand. First, I want to put the Earth on its stand. So I think this is a pretty straightforward process where you literally just kind of guide it into the hole. And if we pop it on in just like that, we are good to go. You attach it at the top so it doesn't just fall off, and just like that, you have your spinny globe. Now, of course, we're going to want to get the Death Star on its stand. I honestly think I wish I had the pieces on hand to build just a small, simple black stand for the Death Star is going to be optimal for most people. I think it's going to look way cooler, and I think more importantly for me, it would be for fitting it on my shelf. With the current globe stand, it's probably a bit too tall to fit on the shelf behind me, and I want to be able to fit it on the shelf behind me, so this is going to be too tall to fit there, but it would definitely fit if I built a shorter stand, took this piece off the top that's just kind of sticking off, obviously, and was able to just place it there, because it would just look way cooler. The only problem with the Death Star going on the globe stand as it's built is the weight of the Death Star isn't as equally distributed as the globe. So the globe can actually stop anywhere you want. The Death Star seems to want to just kind of fall back to a position if you don't put it in a certain position. So if you put it here, it doesn't want to stay there. It wants to go all the way back around and probably break my laser cannons. Don't do that. I think the Death Star doesn't look terrible on the stand, but like I said, I think I'm going to eventually try to give it something different, because the wooden stand is definitely something that looks really nice for the Earth, not so much for the Empire's greatest weapon. So a little bit of a different vibe. Now, one more thing I actually do want to change on this. It says the Earth here, and obviously I don't have a panel that just says Death Star for the Death Star, but I did think it would be cool to throw a minifig down here with a stormtrooper. So just a nice kind of Star Wars-y touch to the base of the set if you build it like this. I kind of inadvertently discovered that you can run no stand on the Death Star or the globe and make out like a bandit. With the globe, you can see I have that bottom piece still there, so it tilts itself, but if you take it off, it can actually sit just flat on the table just fine. Let me push down on it to give you an example. Like, it's not going to go anywhere. It's actually got enough balance there to work, and even with it rounded, it's going to be mostly fine. But just to be extra safe, because I don't want my Death Star rolling off the shelf and falling down, I'd leave it without the piece on the bottom. Now, a lot of people probably want to know what the custom globe-style Death Star looks like compared to the 2005 LEGO Death Star I mentioned earlier in the video. And I'm here to tell you, the size difference is startling. It is a much smaller size. It is also a much sturdier build, though, I'll add. That 2005 Death Star, because it's so old, just has some somewhat outdated techniques, and also just because of the massive size of it, it just feels so much less sturdy than what you get with the $200 size LEGO Ideas Globe Death Star. So I just think it's really cool to see the two side by side. Obviously, this one's much more accurate and detailed, but boy, was this a fun process and much more affordable for most people compared to the 2005 Death Star. If you decide you want to turn a LEGO Ideas Globe into a LEGO Ideas Death Star, make sure you use the link in the description below to today's sponsor, StockX, to pick up your globe and get to work. All you really got to do is change out all the panels to gray, make an assembly for this laser thing, and you're pretty much good to go. Although, like I said, I would highly recommend changing out the stand to something a little more elegant. I guess this is elegant, like the wooden finish to it, but it's not elegant in the sense of like a Star Wars UCS style elegant where they usually go with all black. Let me know what you think in the comments section below, and again, a huge thank you to StockX for making this video possible. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.